Hello, hello, hello. Today should be short because I got access to my program yesterday. What's that? What's this? Ooh, Two of Swords and the Ace of Swords. Bottom of the deck is the Lovers. Indecision. Broken by information. That's not how I was going to say that, but it's the same. Ooh. Archangel of Mysteries and the Stronghold of the Veil. Okay. Like I'm having dreams that I don't know if I want. It's like, oh. But I don't want to talk about the dreams because if I talk about the dreams, then this is going to turn into a whole thing that this is not meant to be. So let me just focus in. What do we need to see today? Alright. Okay, that was a bad shuffle. Oh, we're going to do it this way today. And then the message is boom. Oh, okay. Bottom of the deck is the Eminence, and the Eminence Knight of Orbs was at the top of the deck when I started. It was the last card out last night. Top of the deck is the Ivory Shield, Queen of Cups. Am I going to clarify this? Let's see. If anything comes out in 3, then it'll clarify that. That's almost a whole bunch. Clarifying this Ace of Cups for today. We'll do one more. Ace of Swords. Oh, Ace of Swords, Ace of Cups. So, we have the Holy See, which is the Hierophant, the Stronghold of the Veil, again, who was with the Archangel Mysteries at the cut that one time. She brought a message that was the Necromancer, which is the moon. The Holy See is the Hierophant. I was going to say the Taurus. Ace of Cups, and then the Knight of Pinnacles at the bottom of the deck. So, that wasn't the bottom. That was clarifying this Ace of Cups. I feel like this will be really short. I almost didn't do this today because I'm like, well, the messages are kind of sort of. It's not that they're necessarily repetitive, but it's just like it's time to go. Like it's time to start to move. Like what else can we say? I'm actually gonna read the Ace of Chalices, Holy Water. I don't know if I've ever read it. Excuse me, in this deck before. I think I got a little bit more sleep last night, which is because I chose to stay in bed longer and hope that I got more sleep, and then I had a dream that I didn't want to have. But it's fine. I take all of the information as it comes. Okay, so, oh no, my nose is about to run. Why is my nose running? My nose wasn't doing anything until I started this. Oh my gosh. Excuse me. So, Ace of Chalices. Can y'all even see that? Probably not because my hands in the way. I got my nails. Alright, there we go. Ace of Chalices. It says this is ruled by Zafkiel, and this is the seed of primordial water. It is the purification stage of the initiates. I'm zooming in too much. There we go. of the initiate's path to achieving the magnum opus. Alchemically, the Ace of Chalices corresponds with water. It first descends down to manifest on the physical plane during the season of cardinal water, or the summer solstice, Cancer season. The color associated with the Ace of Chalices is white, symbolizing the washing away of impurities. This is about first separating the initiate into two oppositional principles, then later coagulating the oppositional principles to create a unity of opposites, forthcoming in the Ace of Swords, or the consummating. A three-tiered fountain contains the essence that is the prima materia, or first matter to begin the great work. The top tier pours forth three streams of alchemical primes, or tria prima, sulfur, mercury, and salt. The crescent moon symbolizes alchemical water. The second tier pours forth the five elements of life: fire, water, air, earth, and ether, or quintessence. The third tier streams for the sacred seven. The seventh is unseen in the back. In alchemy, the flying dove symbolizes the spiritual force that tempers the opposites. It is the spirit of divine union. The dove emerges and ascends to heal. It submerges and descends to purify. So it ascends to heal, and it submerges and descends to purify. The Ace of Chalices is the quality of fluidity. Here, the dove symbolizes the presence of the Holy Ghost. The fountain here is also symbolic of access to the deep and sacred mysteries. Oh, and then the Archangel of Mysteries. Okay, came out with that Stronghold of the Veil. Nice. Where was I? Here we go. It's symbolic to the deep and sacred mysteries. The Ace of Chalices is your access to esoteric knowledge and access into your own unconscious. The Grail is inscribed with the ichthys and the circular ichthys symbol for Christ consciousness. Embedded into the detailing is also signs for the triple goddess. Three lotus blossoms lay at the foot of the Grail. In the back, the mystic sea, the Ace of Chalices marks the alchemist entering the white stage of the work, or white work. It is purification of the subconscious and realization of inner light. White work is meditation, channeling, and the magus as a receiver of divine communications. The Ace of Chalices marks the seeker's personal holy grail, which manifests as not only your connection to the spiritual universe around you and the unseen energies that influence that which is seen. The unseen influences, the unseen energies that influence that which is seen. But the Grail is what nurtures and feeds your soul, that saves your soul, that brings alchemical concord to your life, your emotional well-being, your interpersonal relationships, and your internal sphere. Those who find their figurative Holy Grail will achieve an unshakable sense of inner peace and spiritual conviction. The Ace of Chalices and holy water gives rise to the summer solstice. And that's it. So by the summer solstice, Cancer season starts. It's June to July. So that's like around June 20 something. So a lot of planets will be retrograde by then. Excuse me, and I think we'll have the first of the eclipses by then too. Maybe the first two eclipses by then. So lots of stuff going down this summer, according to this. And it's interesting because that's the first time I've read that entry, and that's exactly like it lines up. Anyway, so excuse me. I think this is about, especially with this Shining Quarry clarifying this, I think this is about this is about the in-between time. So we're in an in-between time right now where it may not seem slow, but it's almost like an energetic lull before things start to like not blow up, but really pick up. And then we have the Holy See and this Necromancer, the Moon, and the Hierophant. The Holy See in this deck is all about going beyond what is pre-established. And the Holy See in this deck is about establishing your own spiritual connection, aka the Ace of Cups, finding your Holy Grail, right? And then on this side we have the Necromancer, which is all about sort of, it's the gateway to resurrection and stuff like that. I've read this before. We have the two Anubises, or the two jackals that are tied together with more crescent moons. The stronghold of the veil is the messenger of the formed lands. And so this speaks to surprises that like you'll actually be able to enjoy, right? Things that are unseen. I feel like between these two, it's like we're working towards something, but we don't even know what it is. Or it's gonna lead us to something that we didn't expect. Because I feel like the Hierophant, the Holy See energy is seen. I mean, there are lots of things that happen, behind closed doors, but it's also a very, very, very public energy, right? But then we have this messenger from the formed lands bringing something out of the shadows. I feel like this is all about creating an internal balance and making sure you're internally balanced before the rest of these planets go retrograde. And those start the day after tomorrow, maybe? Is it like the 11th, the 13th, and the 14th? Maybe Saturn, and then Venus, and then Jupiter. I just heard the thing again. I keep forgetting because I don't necessarily track all of the transits and retrogrades anymore. But I hear about it sometimes, so. But I think this is all about creating that internal balance. And then, there's always two pillars, but you see the two pillars here, right? With the elephants, symbolic of Lord Ganesha. Also, I was like, the bull, because it's Taurus season. And Neptune is in Pisces right now. Neptune is also going to go retrograde this year. I don't remember when, but this year at some point, it's going to retrograde. It's almost like the first, and I've kind of said it before, maybe the window of opportunity is extended or slightly, or it's still open for a little bit, but it's like by the close of Taurus season, everything is going to be in place, right? And then it may start really coming in when we enter Cancer season. So what about Gemini season? I mean, Gemini is mutable, right? Mutable is about the closing of one season and the opening of another season. So, it's that kind of sort of in between space. And Taurus is the fixed space associated with the element of Earth. And so it's like by the end of this season, it's like we're placing our orders and they're going to be delivered in maybe before, maybe you'll get some early, right? But it's like the orders are going to be delivered starting Cancer season. That's when fulfillment will start to happen. Fulfillment. But it's like we're putting in the orders now. And that's what I'm feeling between these two. The Knight and the Page, the Stronghold and the Shining One. There's so much earth energy, earth and water on this table. Alright, I'm I Ching this, and then we'll see. I'll keep this short today because I got work to do. Like, for me personally, I know that I need to be done by the end of May. And I just know it. Like, so that's why I need to, like, kick it into overdrive. Because I have to be done. There's something about this season, especially Taurus season, but all of May really, that to me just feels like this is the prime moment of opportunity. This is where I need to close everything, because after this, it's like I have to be ready. I gotta be ready. I can't not be ready. Like, hello? Like, I can't not be ready. So, the Holy See is the mountain, and the Page of Orbs may also be the mountain. The Page of Orbs is also the mountain, so we have double mountain. Mountain is 52. Quiet Heart. Ooh. Which is that. That's what that was sort of alluding to. Are we still in that spiritual deprivation tank? We might be. Honestly. 52. Listen to the wind. Quiet heart and inaction. This is Gen. And it says, quiet your heart and be calm. Remember that even stillness can be a form of movement. The sage contemplates the situation in stillness. It is natural for the heart to fluctuate and a mind to flutter, but exercise restraint and keep confined to a fixed position. That is how you will hear the answer to your inquiry. The wind will carry an important omen to you. Listen to the wind. Silence is the way to self-mastery. Think before you speak, not the other way around. What's more, silence is the way to prevailing in your endeavor. Present inaction paves the way for future gains. Ooh, I feel like that's coming off of, we just had something like that. Steadfast. Was that yesterday or the day before? Honestly, it could have been I Ching that didn't upload because I was having difficulty yesterday. So yeah, this is the time to really, really, it's like when things are so chaotic and distracting outside, it's time to go inside. It's like not only are you going inside to escape the chaos and the peace, not only are you going inside to escape the chaos and the distractions to find peace, but it's also like distraction, right? The more noise there is inside, the more your attention is being called away from you, the more it should actually be focused inward. And like we're all in that space. For them, a lot of us are, because the essential workers are still out there working and they're still doing other stuff, and they're facing their mortality in a different way. While we face ours in here, right? Not all of us again, but some of us, a lot of us, in these self-lockdown or lockdown, quarantine, self-isolation types of things, right? And it's all about the peace that you find here that will, it's like the stiller you are now, the more momentum you'll have later. And that's exactly what I've been saying about the hangman energy, right? It's like the sage stands still and analyzes the situation. Stillness is movement. And that's what, I didn't upload either, but that's what the Four of Cups said, and the vice versa. The Four of Cups talked about stillness and how even when things are moving on the outside, like even when like you're kind of sort of manifesting things, or even when you're getting things that you manifested, sometimes it's still about being still. And it's like the stiller you are, like this is also a time to move in silence, because I feel like the Knight of Pinnacles would be the one knight that can just like sneak up on you, right? I feel like the Knights of Wands and Swords are like too fast, and like you would hear like the horse, like, breathing super heavy, as maybe it's not breathing super heavy, but you'd hear the horse like galloping at you. And then I feel like the Knight of Cups would be like playing a lyre or like a harp or something, or just like sighing dreamily as he does whatever. But it's like the Knight of Pentacles is like silent, and the horse, like when the horse hoof meets the ground, it's like it is the ground, so it doesn't make a noise. But this night is also bringing fulfillment. Like we have um, the scarab here, which is symbolic of Capri or Kepri. I feel like Kepri sounds better to me, but I feel like it should be Capri. But I'm gonna just say Kepri. So we have the scarab symbolic of Kepri, and Kepri is the sun goddess, right? Talking about summer solstice. The summer solstice is when the day is the longest before the days get shorter when we hit the autumnal equinox, and then in the winter solstice, the day is the shortest, right? So it's like the days are getting longer and longer and longer. At the solstice, it's the longest day, and then the days get shorter and shorter and shorter. And then at the winter solstice, it's the shortest day, longest night, right? But yeah, I don't know. There's just something about this month of May. This is number 5. May is the 5th month. Taurus season, April to May. My grandmother's birthday is coming up, and and her birthday's on the 15th. Why did I just remember? Oh my gosh. I wouldn't have forgotten it as we got closer. It's like it's May 10th, and it feels like this month is like flying, but not, but it is. This year is just kind of like, no comment. But yeah, there's something about this time, and there's something about finding stillness in this time, and something about connecting to self that's really going to get us to move forward, because it's this stillness in self and this connection that we harbor and that we foster and that we strengthen that will lead to this unfolding. Resurrection came out. You didn't see that? Wait, yeah, you did. You did, because that was the one that I went live because nothing would upload. I don't know if it's processed yet, because it took like all day to process, even though I'm like, I don't know why it's taking so long to process live now. But maybe a lot of people are on YouTube uploading content. I've seen people who I ain't seen in literally years come back. I'm like, what? Yeah, it's up. Um, but the oracle card that came out yesterday was emergence, and the second blurb or keyword or whatever was resurrection, and then we have this right here. But yeah, there's still time to go inside and to get things right and to deepen your connection. I feel like we're going to be coming up on a dispensing period soon. Here's the Ace of Swords consummating again at the bottom of the deck, mentioned by this. I want to see the Force, if anything else wants to come out. The Force, the Knight of Swords, Shining Winds, the Nine of Wands, Malaise, and the Seven of Swords, the Rogue. Yeah, the Rogue. Anything else? Wow, all of a sudden, like, y'all want to talk. Bottom of the deck now is the Vagabond. If anyone is out in the cold, it is probably going to be their own doing. Their own undoing. Oh gosh, I don't like how that sounds. So again, we have the Force. Oh wait, there's something behind it. The Eminence. The Eminence and the Force. This is about us, finding the strength to stand strong on our own. And that's why it's so important that we sort of quiet down, calm down, and find our own internal sense of peace and calm. And I feel like it's okay to depend on other people, but not be codependent on people, right? It's like having a calculator, right? It's like when you learn math, you learn it without using the calculator so you know how to do it, but once you know how to do it, you can use a calculator. But the reason why you're not dependent on the calculator is because if you come across a situation where there's something that you don't know, right? You can't put X and Y and Z and other variables into a calculator, into a lot of calculators, right? And so you need to know how to mathematically manipulate the equation to then put it into something that you can enter into the calculator to get an answer. And that's what this is about. And this is having the strength to really go inside where it may be dark and it may be kind of scary and lonely and bolster yourself, because I feel like the going may be getting a little bit rough, honestly. With the Knight of Swords, the Malays, Nine of Wands, Nine of Scepters, and the Rogue, Seven of Swords. Like, this is all about the bigger picture. This is the emissary from the unseen lands. So we have the Knight of the seen lands and the Knight of the unseen lands. And it's like, we know it may be difficult and it may be dark, and you maybe you've gone through this darkness for a minute, because quarantine has been like 2 months almost now, where it's kind of sort of been nationwide. Like, there are some places that were doing it before. So it's like, we know that you may have grown weary, but to give up now is to forfeit everything that you've been working for. So, I mean, 2 fives. The Five of Wands and the Five of Orbs. The Vagabond and the Contender. So it's like, either you keep fighting to claim what you want, or you give up now and you don't get what you want. The choice is yours. It's like what Captain Planet says, the power is yours. Right? Alright. I hope you have a good whatever whenever you see this, and I will catch y'all next time.